What's up, everyone? Welcome to a new episode of First Time Recycling. You got myself, Hero, and Alvin? Where's Alvin? Hold on, let's bring Alvin out here. 1, 2. Oh, what's up, Alvin? Here's Alvin right here.
That was interesting. I was like sitting there trying to wash some dishes. I don't know what's going on. Wow, looks like we're recording. Oh, geez.
Yep.
Hold on, let me get ready. All right.
So, what are we doing today, Alvin?
I don't know. What's all this gear? I feel like we have, I don't know. I feel like this episode's sponsored by somebody.
Yeah, today's episode is sponsored by us.
All right.
Yeah, this is all the gear that we've accumulated since we started riding.
Yeah, so kind of wanted to do an episode to actually talk about what we actually use, because that's been a few questions that people ask, like what helmet we're wearing,
where we get our gear,
and all that fun stuff. So that's kind of a big thing for us. Obviously, a lot of our stuff we do order off of Amazon, so that's very, 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 very exciting. And but like I said, we'll talk about a couple places where I've actually bought some stuff. Obviously, we'll start off actually with the road bikes for myself here. When I started road biking, obviously one of the first things obviously I had to buy, besides the bike, was actually a helmet. I ended up going with what's it called? This is a King bike helmet, and it was $40 off of Amazon. And I kind of went with it because I love the idea of being able to pull off the magnetic front glasses here. So it literally just popped off, dropped on. If you need to store it, flip it around. So it was actually really nice. And some of our biker friends, they kept saying, "Hey, you need to get better gear. You only have one head,
one brain."
And I was just like, that's true. I play with muscle cars, and obviously you try to take them to a track, you need obviously a good helmet. Only can be 2 years old, all that fun stuff. So it's one of those things that I had somebody say, "Hey, I have an extra specialized helmet. It's perfectly good, blah, blah, blah." This is actually a S-Works Prevail. And
First version,
yep. And it's actually very light, super, super light. Hero actually got a chance to use it.
Yeah, I noticed it's very airy. You just feel the air flowing through. It's very cool, very light.
And we'll put that video of when he used it up in the upper right-hand corner, so you guys can go check it out while he was using it. Obviously, it's not a mountain biking helmet where he was using it, just because it has a lot of holes. You're going to kind of notice there. Versus mountain bike helmets, they're usually very enclosed. So as you're riding, you don't want like a branch or stick to like fly through and nail you in the head there. So they don't make it as airy. But for road bikes, very lightweight, very good. Obviously, the second edition is definitely what I'd recommend. But it's a very good helmet. If you can find this one at a very good price. But anyway, here's Hero's helmet. Let's see what he has.
This is what I got for my road biking. This is a road bike helmet. It's from Cask. It's called Vertigo. I got this one for $120 on Amazon. And this is like Alvin said right there, you only have one head, one brain, so protect it. And what I like about this is it is also very light, very airy. You can see in the front, it just allows air to flow through your head so it doesn't keep it hot. And it has the back here where you can adjust it for your head size.
Yeah, I didn't talk about that.
So, back in the day when I was riding, I used to use those cheaper Walmart $20 helmets from Bell. They didn't have this. So, the helmet will just frolic, loosely stay on your head. You always had to adjust the strap. But even not clipping.
Buying helmets that are too big for his head.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. But with this, it really just grabs your head, and you almost even if you didn't have the strap on, even if you didn't have the buckle on, it would still stay on your head. And I thought that was a pretty cool safety feature, just in case. And I'm really liking this helmet so far.
Now, actually, you have a very interesting helmet on the table here. It's something I don't even have, and that's his downhill helmet.
Oh yeah.
Hey, look at that bad boy. It looks like a motorcycle helmet.
Haven't used this yet, but it's supposed to be for downhilling once we get really crazy. It actually does look like a dirt bike helmet. You could probably use it as a dirt bike or on a dirt bike. It's DOT approved. Got this on Amazon for $100, or approximately $100. I've seen the prices vary, but it is comfortable. I mean, it's really light, sturdy, and just really comfortable. The buckle, it's just nice. See that? It just really just clips in. Done.
And I'm actually excited because on this particular helmet here, you'll see a lot of guys, they'll mount their GoPros on the bottom under the chin.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting for us to make like a little chin mount for his GoPro, to put it on there and get a different angle. Because a lot of times he uses the chest mount, and I'm really intrigued to see how a chin mount might look and give a different field of view. And I might have to get one of these just because a lot of the stuff that we're starting to do is getting a little crazier.
Yeah.
And we're gonna need a downhill bike soon, and
Yep.
that just looks badass.
Fun times.
Yep. And so your other helmet, so that's your regular mountain bike helmet.
So this was given to me by a friend of ours, and this is a Mavic mountain biking helmet, and you can tell the difference between a mountain bike helmet versus a road bike helmet because it protects more of the back of your head, which is like where your important parts of your brain is, where you balance and stuff. So that is a feature that you'll notice difference. Also the air holes, there's a lot more air holes in a road bike helmet versus a mountain bike helmet. But this helmet, you can find them for around 80 bucks. Not sure if they make them anymore, but if you do find them, they're around 80 bucks. And just like the road bike helmet, you can tighten and loosen the I guess this is just for security.
Lock your head in.
Yeah, to lock your head into the helmet.
Make sure it doesn't shift as you're falling, and it holds on.
Yeah. Another feature you might notice on a mountain bike helmet is it has the visor. Yeah, and it's attached to the bike or attached to the helmet.
Yep, and they're very flexible. So if you were to hit it, it's not gonna. It'll kind of take like an impact, kind of like a car in a way. Mm-hmm. So it'll flex, and before your head actually hits the ground. So that's actually pretty cool. Now on my mountain bike that you usually see me run with here, it's a Troy Lee design helmet. Actually, it's very solid, a very good helmet. I do love this helmet a lot. Obviously, it's not as light as this guy whatsoever, but your head actually does feel very secure in here. Typically, these go for anywhere from 140 to 160. I've always loved the back of these designs just because it says the Troy Lee design on the back, and then of course, for the world's fastest racers. So, obviously when I'm trying to bomb downhill, I'm actually pretty excited wearing this helmet just because obviously they're aiming at the guys that are trying to run downhill fast. Actually, let's actually show them some of my bail videos and actually other people that came with us and why helmets are important here, because I think that's actually something that you guys should check out. So yeah, we'll actually put together a few videos here so you guys can go and check them out here.
Yep. Here comes a bail video. Woo! Oh, I was just kidding too. Woo! Overshot. Oh. All right, so another topic that we'd like to talk about is, you got your helmet, you got your bike, and in case you fall, when you fall, you want to protect your hands as well. So for me, for my mountain bike, I got these. These are Fox, obviously, and they're about 30 bucks. You can find them on Amazon, and they're full sleeve, full finger gloves. So it does get a little hot in the summertime, but the protection, the padding, it's nice. So like it'll absorb some of the vibration when you're riding over rough terrain. And it's something that I really like wearing, and when it's cold, it's really good. When it's hot, you might want to wear something like open finger, like this. These are my road bike gloves, but I also use them for mountain biking just because it also has nice padding, and it has holes in it, so it breathes really well.
Those nice hot days.
For the nice hot days, yeah.
So it's funny because when he's done biking on those nice hot days and it's 110 out, he has like this little tan of holes everywhere on his hand.
Looks kind of funny.
Yeah, so for me, I usually do the whole glove tan, so you'll kind of see a little line on me when I've gone mountain biking. But of course, I use, from my favorite store, Harbor Freight, Hardy gloves. Now these gloves don't really have too much padding, but they've actually have crashed in these a couple times. Obviously, as you've seen in some of those videos. and they've actually protected my hands pretty well. Obviously, I don't have as much padding as those Fox gloves, but you know, if you're semi on a budget and you're trying to do, I'm not even gonna say full on like downhill mountain biking, obviously I'd say buy the gear. But if you're just, you know, kind of doing a little bit of cross country riding,
yeah,
you know, I would definitely say to, you know, have a decent pair of gloves. You know, you don't have to go crazy. These are, I think, like $5 at what's called Harbor Freight.
Oh, sorry. These are I forgot to tell you the price, but these are about $5 too.
Yeah.
When they were on sale.
Yeah, and those are like weightlifting gloves in a way.
Yeah, pretty much.
And so they have nice padding. But again, that does help when as you're going down a hill and as you're taking kind of that beating over, like you're saying, rough terrain. Definitely something that I would recommend is gloves. And those Fox, what are those, like, what, about $30, $40?
$30, yeah.
Yeah, so definitely something that, you know, invest in some gloves. Obviously, I know the first thing you're probably thinking is like, how much should I spend on a bike? And, you know, next thing you know, you're $1,000 in minimum, and then next thing you know, you're buying a really expensive road bike, and then next thing you know, you're mountain biking, and then you know, gravel biking, and then next thing you know, you have 8 bikes, and you're just like, dang, what do I do now?
Not enough bikes.
So, you know, like I said, it's tough because obviously, you know, a lot of people will want to spend more on their bikes versus
the gear
to protect them. But definitely, like I said, go take a look and get some really good gear. We're putting a lot of our gear that we're talking about is definitely in the description below. So definitely go and take a look at it, check it out. We'll also, like I said, talk about shoes because I think that's very important. Shoes and clips. So let's actually start off with your road bikes. So I don't have my shoes up here because I don't clip in. I'm typically that guy that wears Costco Adidas shoes
and flat pedals.
Yeah, flat pedals. Yeah. But your Shimano's actually are very good. Definitely they help with the pull-up portion. So as you're pushing down, you can definitely pull up.
So these, I mean, when you start out biking, you might not want to start being clipped into the bike because you are literally one with the bike. Here's a Shimano SPD SL clipless pedal. They call it clipless. It's kind of confusing, but they call it clipless pedals. I just call it clipping in. Yep. So with the shoe, you clip in, and this is screwed onto the bike. So you are literally one with the bike once it clips. So when you're attached to the bike, it's a little nerve-wracking when you're a newbie and you're trying to learn balancing. So I don't recommend it. I don't recommend this, but eventually when you start getting used to balancing, braking, getting off the bike, this helps tremendously for uphills because you're able to push down, and on your upstroke, you're able to pull up. You use a different part of your calf muscle, and it works out your leg better. You're more efficient on the uphills, and that's why Alvin's always crying on uphills, and I'm always like bitching it.
There might be another reason, you know, but you know, like I said, there's a weight difference obviously too.
Yeah.
But again,
he's the downhiller. I'm a hill climber.
So he likes, yeah, like I said, with the shoes, they definitely help pull up and all that fun stuff.
And, oh, sorry, by the way, these are pretty much entry level. You can find these for around $80. Shimano, I forget what brand they are. RP300 SL. I mean, you could probably find a newer model these days, but I got this like years ago, and I'm still using them. I like them,
and they don't go bad. So also, actually, before I go too far, so what a lot of people don't realize, you know, if you're going to be riding a lot, you definitely want a solid shoe. Yeah. You don't want them to flex too much. So say if you're somebody like me and you're starting to ride a lot, one thing that I do notice because I'm wearing a shoe that flexes is the bottom of your feet start to hurt. And I'm trying to remember the term that they called it. I think it was like I forget, it was like plantar plantar. And it'll happen, yeah, because you're always pushing and your shoe's flexing. So you want your foot to be as solid as possible. Yeah. Obviously, like I said, there are some nice shoes that flex and bend and all that fun stuff. You know, but these are, like I said, very solid. You can barely see a minimal flex in there.
Actually,
and it helps with your foot.
And also the idea with the hard sole is that it doesn't rob energy from your pedal stroke. If you're flexing or if it's squishy and bendable, it actually takes away from your energy of your pedal stroke.
You're dropping that half inch down because of that.
Yep.
So, and now usually mountain bike shoes, you're gonna notice almost the exact same thing. So they are very solid, rigid. And these are also his clip-in shoes as well for mountain biking. But we both do use different sets of pedals. So,
flat pedals, yeah.
A lot of times flat pedals are kind of what we go with, especially if we're going into an area where we don't know. So if we don't know the area, we're gonna do flat pedals all day long, just because if we need to get off a bike really fast, or if there's a cliff, we need to jump off the bike.
Yeah.
You know, it's...
Actually, I want to mention something for mountain biking. Just because it's mountain biking, we're always like sliding and everything. I used to use clipless pedals. These are mountain bike clipless pedals. And I've hurt myself just trying to get off my bike real quickly. I mean, you can actually clip out really quick, but it's just the natural reaction where you just want to slide your foot out to the side instead of twist it and take it out. That's where I kind of hurt my ankle. So I mean, these shoes are clipless ready. There's actually 2 screws here. When you take that out, you can put your cleat in, and then it'll lock in. Yeah. But actually, I prefer.
Let's show that footage of you kind of just like bombing sideways really fast. Let's show that really fast.
Yeah, and then you'll see where I have my foot out, because you know when you're sliding, I just feel more comfortable. It's more of a preference thing. You see people who are clipped in that just love to be clipped in. They feel like they have more control over the bike. It's more of a preference thing. I've always liked not being clipped in on a mountain bike. Also, if you're like a cross-country rider, you're not really doing those downhills or the crazy turns and stuff like that, being clipped in will help. It's just like being on the road where you're just doing ups and downs. So you want the more pedaling efficiency. You want to be more pedal efficient. So I would do clipped in. But since we're doing downhills, jumps, and all that, I just feel a little more secure being able to just take my foot out just in case.
Yeah.
So that's what I think about that.
So yeah, so definitely must have, kicking that foot out, being able to slide around, having nice pedals, obviously trying to be as efficient as possible when you're riding.
Yeah.
Having a bike, you know, when I had my first bike, it was a Walmart bike. It was a GMC Denali road bike.
Yeah.
And that thing was so heavy that, you know, people would just comment, they're like, oh wow, it's a really nice bike. And then I took it to my first bike shop, you know, to actually have them tune it, and they were just like, wow, that thing's really heavy. And I was like, really, what are you talking about? The bike is so heavy that you're probably, if you were to do a 100-mile ride, it'll probably feel like you probably spent about 110, 120 miles worth of energy. And I was just like, really? Yeah. And so I would kind of notice that as I was riding. I was just like, oh man. And so I felt like I was building endurance and all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
And when I ended up picking up my Giant, you know, and that's full carbon fiber bike, as I was riding, I was just like, wow, this thing's so light. And I was like, yeah, it was amazing to see how well I was able to pedal and all that fun stuff. It had a great feel to it. So like I said, it was a good bike, very solid, you know, and for $150 or whatever it was at Walmart, it just was a heavy bike. So if you're planning to do 50, 60, 70 miles, you know, what we've done so far, definitely get a nice bike, spend the money.
Yeah.
You don't want to be, you know.
The thing I can say about buying a Walmart bike is, yes, you do get a whole bike for an inexpensive price, and it's a brand new bike, but the components are going to be what's going to hit you. Yeah. You could get the bike tuned for what, $60, 60 to $80, and it'll be good for a little bit, but it won't last. You'll shift, and then you keep riding, you keep shifting through your gears, your brakes, everything. It will be out of spec quicker than having if you paid a little more to get a better bike, like some Specialized, Giant, Scott. There's many brands out there for a decent price and used. You do run a risk of buying a used bike because then you don't know how the owner treated them. Yeah. But you can get them tuned and good as new. Like, you can't even tell. Absolutely. Maybe a few scratches here and there, but it's worth it. I'd say it's worth it to buy a better bike than to buy a cheap Walmart bike and then have to buy another bike, and then you just spent twice the amount.
Now, talking about tuning, obviously we're going to talk about lube, long-lasting dry lube here.
That's for the chain. I don't know what he's using it for.
So pretty much it is for the chain and for the cassette. A lot of times you'll just put a little bit on the cassette, but it's mainly for the chain as you're going through it. So you can definitely pick up one of these guys. I think they're $10 on Amazon. Yeah. Depending on which one you want to go with, and these actually feel very good, and it definitely helps out. Say if you put on a brand new chain, you definitely want to oil it and keep it lubed and all that fun stuff. Now on the mountain bike side, you get a little more complicated because you're gonna need one of these guys, and obviously this is a shock pump.
Yep.
And you're gonna need to be able to sit there, and as your body is going up and down in weight, you're gonna want to sit there and adjust the air in the pump.
Yeah.
So it'll help with the rebound and all that fun stuff, because if it's too soft or too hard, you're gonna be bouncing all over the place or squishing it down too far, and like I said, you're not gonna have a great
experience.
Yeah, you know, a great time experience, all that fun stuff. So
all bikes are tunable.
Yes.
Like everything is tunable to the rider. So what he's talking about here is like if you're riding down a hill and then you're noticing that your bike's like just pushing you back or whatever, you might have too much air in the shock. So you can use one of these to let some out, and it goes in really small increments, so you can tell exactly. You just let a little bit out, you
totally
go try
different
it.
from this.
Yeah, totally different. I used to actually think that this can pump your tire, but no, this is only meant for shocks.
Yes.
This right here is an air pump for tubes.
Yes.
So yeah.
Tubes or even tubeless, depending on.
And tubeless, yeah.
Yeah. So overall, this is typical hand pump. Actually, very lightweight considering. And now, say you get a flat, you need to go out, pull your tire off, and you need to repump your tire.
Yeah.
Having one of these guys along definitely helps save you time from having to walk to a gas station, or if there's a gas station, say you're in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
You know, you're in the middle of mountain biking and you're 20 miles out. You know, 20-mile walk isn't gonna be a fun experience.
No.
So.
And the cool thing about this, it does have Schrader and Presta. So whatever tube you're using for your bike, this will have you covered.
Yes.
And this product is from Lenzine or Lenzine. I'm not sure exactly how you pronounce it, but on one of the episodes I call it Lenzine.
Lenzine.
So just
like
correcting myself.
That sounds like like a
contact eye solution.
Yeah. So
another thing we're gonna mention is when you're riding. I use this for my road bike. It's a kit from Top Peak. This is about 20 bucks, I believe, on Amazon. It comes with your tire patch kit, universal Allens and screwdrivers, flathead screwdrivers. Also a chain breaker, because you never know when you're riding, like say we're mountain biking out in whatever.
Middle of nowhere.
Yeah, and then your chain snaps, right? What do? You know, you can't put your chain back. So you can actually break the chain and then use or tie it so it's just one gear only, so at least you can still pedal.
Get yourself home.
Get yourself home.
Yeah.
So this
kind of
was
like
cool.
a lit mode for your car.
Exactly.
And so and so pretty much when he's saying break your chain, you're literally just taking out a whole link. Yeah, and putting that link over one and then just locking it back in. So you'll probably still be able to shift through some gears, but you won't be able to get to your final gear.
Right.
Or your biggest gear. So you'll probably be using a little more energy, but again, like I said, you still could ride. And that's a cool thing about having like a kit like this. And some of these kits go anywhere from 20 to 50 bucks on Amazon with all these tools. And they actually have like that nice little foam separator in there so you can separate it.
Yeah.
And then you also have the tire holder on the bottom so you can put in your tire and your little tools. So you can actually sit there and
actually have my
pull your tools out. Yep. So
road bike tire.
This is nice, all wrapped up
levers.
and everything. Yep. So like I said, just depending on how you're doing it and how much how much fun and how far you're going. Definitely, these are things that you would need to have. Now, last thing I do want to talk about is eye protection. Now, a lot of people don't realize how crazy it is, and a lot of times you don't see me wearing it because I have my glasses on. But what you don't really see in my glasses from far is I have like these little pits, and they're usually kind of from rocks or dust that's hitting them because I am moving a lot faster than kind of just walking around, walking or even running. So when we're doing 30, 40 miles per hour down a hill, things are hitting it. So having a nice pair of glasses, shatterproof glasses, that's important. And especially if you want to go with a company called Hawk, made in Italy, very nice glasses. These are a little dusty. These are my wife's pair. But overall, things will hit it. And they're kind of aerodynamic to your head, so as you have them on, it'll blow right by. They have the little anti-fog slit, so you're not having to worry about fogging and all that fun stuff.
Especially now since we always have to wear masks.
Yeah, so it is one of those things that I do recommend. Come in usually a nice case. And actually, same thing with my helmet too. and you're picking up helmets and stuff like that, they usually have nice cases that they come with on the more expensive helmets.
Yep.
So definitely protect your eyeballs out there. If you are going downhill pretty fast, we already kind of have masks that we usually wear that are very thin cloth, and you just pull them right up. And I got stung on my lip by a bee. So so that's one of those things that now when I go downhill, half the time you'll see me pull up a mask if we're gonna be flying down a hill.
Especially when it's dusty.
Yeah, and it's dusty, bugs, cold, whatever. You just put this right up and boom. And it just has a nice feel, and again, the air kind of breaks around your head. But like I said, it's just one of those things that it depends on how crazy you want to go. Obviously, when we both started, we started off on the road bike. He already had his mountain bike, but obviously I started on the road bike side. Road biking for me was probably a little cheaper overall. The mountain bike side, definitely gets more expensive because you do need more gear. You need your Camelback for your water. You need all this stuff, and it could add up pretty quick. So again, road biking. This helmet was literally, like I said, $40 on Amazon. Boom, put it on. Have my actual shatter-resistant glass there, so if I were to crash, it's not going to shatter. It'll just break or crack. So that's actually kind of a nice 2-in-1 helmet. But like I said, if you want to protect your brain, nicer helmet, lighter weight, all that fun stuff, definitely one of those things that I would recommend, for you guys to go with. And I know, Hero would probably say the same thing, just because the weight difference between this helmet, I don't want to say is almost as heavy as pretty much as heavy as my mountain bike helmet. That's extra weight that you're carrying on the road bike. So can't wait to really kind of get a chance to buy one of those helmets, because I'm intrigued, and I know it's gonna make me more ballsier, and I shouldn't. But it's just like I'm protecting my head.
I mean, eventually, I'm sure. We're gonna need elbow and knee pads, because if we're just going too crazy, just protecting our head is not enough.
No, that's really not.
I mean, we get to keep our teeth and stuff, but our arms could get scraped up. Knees can get messed up. It gets pretty bad. I mean, there's plenty of bail videos out there. It's just wow.
Like I said, our bail videos aren't that bad, because at least we're
not going as fast.
We're not trying to go as crazy, and we just kind of want to give you a heads up on kind of like maybe the overall price of, say, you wanted to jump into road biking. Now, keep in mind, we're not going to include a price of a bike, because that's going to be all on you. Obviously, your budget, all that fun stuff, but. A lot of times, a lot of people don't budget for the gear, and a lot of times, I will say you could probably safely, for about $250 for road biking, can get yourself all pretty decent gear and get yourself ready to ride. Obviously, as you go crazier, you go to clipless pedals and shoes, you're going to be spending probably another $150, $200 there.
We haven't talked about jerseys yet either. I mean, you can wear a regular t-shirt, but eventually you'll start to feel like it's just not good enough anymore. It doesn't wick your sweat well enough, and it flaps in the wind. I used to totally be against wearing jerseys. I used to always make fun of them, but now you really do realize, after riding a lot, you realize why you do need to use them.
And keep in mind, so like I said, $250, that will be a cheap jersey. Cheap jersey, cheap helmet, and like I said, spend more money on a helmet. Protect that brain. You don't want, like I said, that's the biggest key.
Good bike, good helmet.
And then another thing that we didn't talk about as far as the safety features are lights. So definitely having a bright headlight, tail light is definitely very important. Lights can range from $50 all the way up to like $300-400. They have like turn signals, brakes, all this fun stuff.
But if you're just getting into it, I think I recommend riding in the day. So you can see everything. Yes, lights are definitely
not in rush hour traffic either.
Oh yeah, if you guys live around bike paths, try to do bike paths or parks or something.
Get yourself set up ready. But and then on the mountain bike side, that's where it gets a little more expensive, because like I said, you will need Camelback, definitely need gloves, you'll definitely need shoes. I do recommend some nice shorts. So if you do crash, you kind of slide, I don't want to say they're motorcycle shorts, but they're nice shorts that you can kind of take a little bit of an impact and slide along the ground. Obviously, like I said, good helmet. And in that case, you're probably going to be spending about $450 in safety gear and shoes and gloves and all that fun stuff. And like I said, mountain biking, you want to go with a nicer helmet. I always tell people, do not go with a cheap helmet if you're going to go mountain biking, just because you just don't know what will happen.
Too many instances where you could just mess up.
You know, it's like actually one crash would have been cool to have it on the GoPro. But a guy, he was riding downhill flying, and I'm climbing, and Hero's right next to me, and the rest of the group that was with us, they're all the way up ahead, and of course me, I'm just like, I'm super tired, and this guy, there's this rut, and, it's kind of from the water, kind of running through, and he tries to make this jump, and I don't know what happened, but he jumps up,
and he hits
next thing you know, and the wheel just turns sideways, boom, face into the ground, sliding. His glasses broke,
shattered.
And they weren't like bike glasses either. So they and they cut up his face.
Yeah, they cut his eyebrow.
Yeah, and so it was a real experience to kind of go, well, we need first aid. We need some actual shatter resistant glasses so they're not cutting in our eye and all this stuff. And the way he crashed, at least he had a good helmet, but his face really dug into the ground. Like if you would have saw the way that
it's just face plant, like directly into the dirt.
If we had had a GoPro, that probably would have got us a ton of hits just because of the crash. It was a gnarly crash, and and I was trying to help the guy, and of course we didn't have anything, and he's trying to stand up and he's about to pass out, and I tell Hero to go get some help at the top. And the guy's like, man, I know Alvin's slow, but he's not that slow. And they come rolling down, and of course, they're all loaded up with
first aid kit.
First aid. They have
gauze.
they have everything. They're just
alcohol
cleaning
wipes.
everything. And they got the guy pretty well bandaged up and sent on his way. But it's just, imagine if we weren't there. People probably wouldn't have seen him. They wouldn't have stopped. They would have freaked out, and it was just something. If he didn't have the helmet, the best helmet out there, he probably would have been messed up pretty bad. And so, like I said, not to scare you guys, but
those are the cautions.
To biking. And like I said, learn to crash, learn to fall. It's gonna happen. Even on your road bike, I've seen people, they've been biking so long, and they just get tired, and next thing you know, they just like clink, and it's just like, wait, what happened? I couldn't get my leg off. They're just so tired that they worked so hard that they literally just collapsed sideways and not even paying attention. They just were boom out on the ground. So like I said, safety is a big concern, and obviously we're getting older, and obviously we want to enjoy life, and we want to have all this fun.
You want to have fun, but you will have to be safe.
So that's big, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. This is hopefully this has been a big eye opener for you guys. If you're interested in jumping into biking, road biking, mountain biking, just understanding the price points of how much things cost, and why you need good equipment. Like I said, I obviously buy cheap equipment. $5 gloves. Start road biking, $40 helmet. Like I said, it got me into the door of biking, and
you could always accumulate the good stuff later. It's like, as long as you have like a starter gear, I mean, you just deal with it, and it's just for the fun of riding. Eventually, you're like, okay, I need new gloves, and you could just save up and spend on those good gloves that'll last you longer eventually. But don't cheap out on helmets.
Like I said, but like I said, if you're you're gonna be on a bike lane. You're gonna be starting. You're not doing anything crazy. You're not going downhill. You're not
going fast.
This is a pretty good helmet.
That's true.
Parks do worry me, just because actually we'll show that clip too. I almost hit a kid. I was in my own lane, and the kid just cruised on, and he's like. So we'll show that really fast. Anyway, guys,
All right.
We hope you guys enjoyed everything.
Make sure to hit that like.
Smash that like. Smash the like.
And if you guys are new to the channel, make sure to scroll to the bottom right, hit that subscribe.
Definitely want to subscribe.
Scroll to the bottom in the description field. Make sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram. We always show our updates and projects and stuff like that before we throw out the video. Teasers for our cycling channel. And also on the top right, we're going to put a link to our First Timers channel where we do other projects, vehicle projects. We have a baby edition with Alvin's baby.
Tech edition.
So
and, we do a lot of stuff on there. So check us out, subscribe there as well. We have fun. Like I said, we try to have as much fun with everything. Yeah. And don't forget, if you have any questions,
leave them down in the comments below.
And we'll get back to you. We always do.
Yeah. All right, you guys.
See you guys later. Have fun.
Peace.
Stay safe.